Hey, what's up, fellow football fans? We just finished watching the Champions League matches pretty recently, and I want to talk to you about some of the matches that we saw, particularly the Real Madrid Inter Milan match. I personally I watched two matches from Group B. First, Shakhtar against Borussia Monchengladbach, and then Real Madrid Inter Milan. But there are also some other really good games. I just finished watching the highlights. Some really cool stuff happened. But really, in this video, I want to talk mostly about what was the really big match today, which was Real Madrid against Shakhtar. Against Real Madrid against Inter. So, look, this was a very uncharacteristic Matchday 3 clash between Real Madrid and Inter. These are usually two teams that face each other later on in the competition. This is a match that we've seen before in past editions, in the quarterfinals, in the semifinals, in the final. This is the kind of match that we're talking about here between two European greats. Real Madrid, probably the most historical, the most successful team in Europe overall. Not only did they win 13 Champions Leagues in the past, I mean, they also have a number of Spanish titles to their name. They're the most successful team in the 20th century, probably in the 21st century as well. So, no introduction needed there. But, Inter Milan as well. They're one of the three greats in Italy. They've won a number of Scudettos. They've won the Champions League 3 times, including one time not that long ago with Mourinho, when Mourinho was managing them. The fantastic team, with Samuel Eto'o, Diego Milito, Wesley Sneijder. I mean, that was a beautiful team, fantastic team that Mourinho built with Inter. And they were sort of the underdogs, but still, they were a very, very good team with lots of good players. They won the Champions League that year. They won everything that year. This is an uncharacteristic clash between Real Madrid and Inter Milan, because this was just match day 3 in the Champions League, and they were coming into this match with a lot of pressure. Real Madrid had 1 point and Inter Milan 2 points after 2 games. And really, this was looking very dire for both Real Madrid and Inter coming into this match. A very high-risk match for both of these teams. And both of them really needing to win. And, in Italian newspapers, journalists said or wrote, losing is not an option. And this was true. This was true for Inter, and this was true for Real Madrid. And I was very excited about that, because we're going to get really almost decisive match between Real Madrid and Inter Milan in match day 3 in the Champions League. So, really cool match, really cool setup. And the only thing that was kind of a negative is that Lukaku did not start for Inter. He wasn't available. So we got instead still a pretty good attacking setup with Lautaro Martinez and Perisic up front. Perisic is a great player as well. He's not Lukaku, but he's also a great player. And Real Madrid started the game really well. By the way, Real Madrid started up front with Benzema, Hazard, and Asensio. Now, Real Madrid started really well, and they scored earlier. And they scored early by virtue of, and this is strange from seeing this from a Conte team, because Conte teams are usually so professional, so well organized, so serious, so concentrated. But they give away a very stupid ball, terrible defensive mistake, and that gives Real Madrid the chance to score the first goal. Benzema gets the opportunity, and he's been in great form last year and also this year. He scores the first goal for Real Madrid, and that's not looking good for Inter. That's not looking good for Inter because Real Madrid is playing at home. There's a lot of pressure on Inter to not lose this game, as there was on Real Madrid, and Real Madrid scores early. So that puts even more pressure on Inter, and in theory now Real Madrid is going to have a little bit more space, but it gets worse for Inter. Only 8 minutes later, the captain, Sergio Ramos, appears once again in a pivotal moment for Real Madrid in the Champions League, and in a corner kick, he gets the goal. And I think this was his 100th goal with the Real Madrid shirt, if I'm not mistaken, something like that, which is a historical landmark for Sergio Ramos. But it's really just Sergio Ramos who scored his 100th goal. But look, it's not surprising. I mean, he's always scoring goals, and that's probably what makes him the best center back in the world, because he's a captain, he's a leader, but he's also a fantastic center back. But he will also get you those goals when the team needs it. He's really the beating heart of Real Madrid, not just the leader on the field. And I mean, I still remember when he scored that goal against Atletico Madrid. Real Madrid was about to lose the final of the Champions League against Atletico Madrid. And on a corner as well, Sergio Ramos scores that goal. And Real Madrid goes on to beat Atletico Madrid. He's a guy that really makes a difference for Real Madrid. And at that point, and this was minute 33 of the game, it seemed that it was done. It was a done deal for Real Madrid, 2-up against Inter, which is a team that they're extremely well organized. It's difficult to score against them, and they do have quality in attack, but they didn't have Lukaku. They're playing away against Real Madrid. That was a really tough ask for Inter to come back in that game. But look, they believed in it. They didn't stop believing, and only 2 minutes later, Lautaro Martinez, Inter's big star, especially with Lukaku being out, puts Inter back into the game. He scores a goal. And Inter really, throughout a lot of the match, they looked like the better team. They looked more organized. It looked like they wanted it more than Real Madrid mostly. So this looked like a Conte team. And yes, it's not a perfect team, but Conte has created a very competent team, a team that fights to win, that plays to win, and they have the quality, they have the tactical organization. They're a good team. They're a very solid team. Obviously, they're not a flawless team, and they wouldn't be in this position if they were a flawless team, because they wouldn't have drew against both Shakhtar and Borussia Monchengladbach. However, they are a very competent team, and they get the equalizer, and it's 2-2. Perisic scores a goal, so a goal for both of their starting attacking players, Lautaro Martinez and Perisic, which, by the way, they had a great partnership today. They played very well, and Inter was really looking good. Now, the pivotal moment of the game, really, after that, is that Hazard and Asensio, they go out. Rodrigo and Vinicius, the two Brazilian youngsters, come into the game, and that really changes the complexion of Real Madrid. They look a lot more attacking. They have a lot more energy, a lot more creativity, and eventually, Vinicius creates a very good chance for Rodrigo, and Rodrigo scores a beautiful goal, and it's 3-2. It's 3-2 for Real Madrid. 10 minutes to go. Inter after that, credit to them, they didn't give up. They kept looking for the goal. Real Madrid also had one or two good chances to kill the game, to make it 4-2, and they probably should have, because they were good chances. But look, this was a fantastic game of football. Overall, it was a fantastic game of football between two teams that are fragile. They have vulnerabilities, but they're also two fantastic football teams. Two classic teams in European football, and it was really a fantastic game overall. This is why the Champions League is so special. But look, in the other match of the group, which had happened before, Borussia Monchengladbach beat Shakhtar Donetsk 6-0 away, and that's also kind of a surprising result. And they looked amazing doing it. This is a team, Borussia Monchengladbach, that beat Leipzig, who reached the semifinal of the Champions League last season, and Borussia Mönchengladbach beat Leipzig in the weekend, and now midweek they go to Shakhtar, to Donetsk, to Ukraine, and they beat them 6-0. A team that had just beaten Real Madrid, they had drew against Inter, a team that is actually very good. And this Borussia Mönchengladbach team proves once again they had already grabbed ties against Inter. They almost beat Real Madrid. They conceded an equalizer in one of the last minutes of the game. But now here, especially today, they seized their opportunity. They didn't want to let this one escape. And they win a very complicated game, which was a very complicated game. And they make it 6-0, and this is fantastic news for Real Madrid, fantastic news for Inter, because now you look at the group. Shakhtar continues to have only 4 points. If they had gotten the win today at home, which actually was probably the most predictable result, they would have 7 points right now, and they would have been pretty much out of reach for Inter, which is now with only last of the group with only 2 points. So now, as it stands, Monchengladbach first with 5 points, Shakhtar Donetsk second with 4 points, Real Madrid third also with 4 points. But they're behind Shakhtar because they lost against Shakhtar, and then Inter Milan with only 2 points. But still, only 3 points away from Mönchengladbach, which is topping the group. So very, very, very close group. That's the conclusion of the 2 matches today, really, is that this is the most interesting group, really, in the Champions League as of now. Group B, the group of death. I had talked about Liverpool, Ajax, Atalanta, Midtjylland, or Manchester United, PSG, Leipzig, Istanbul. I had talked about those groups as being the most difficult groups. But really, the group of death, really, this year is Group B with Mönchengladbach and Shakhtar, really giving Real Madrid and Inter Milan a tough challenge. But I think all 4 teams, a little bit less so Inter, they only have 2 points after 3 games. But still, even Inter, if they beat Real Madrid in the next game, they're very much in it again. And they're playing at home against Real Madrid. And hopefully they'll have Lukaku. So this is a very, very interesting group. And I can't wait to watch the next match, which again will have Real Madrid-Inter, or I should say Inter-Real Madrid. And that's really going to be a decisive game for Inter. Less so, perhaps, for Real Madrid. Real Madrid look in real danger of not proceeding to the knockout stages. But now, look, they have 4 points. They're only 1 point behind Mönchengladbach, which is first. So overall, fantastic match day for Real Madrid, and also very good for Mönchengladbach. Now, some other matches today. In Group A, we had a draw between Atletico Madrid and Lokomotiv Moscow. I'm sure disappointing for Atletico Madrid. And Bayern Munich, again, putting on a clinic, a beating against Salzburg away. Difficult game, by the way. Salzburg is a very competent team. Austrian champions. They have serious talent. And Bayern Munich goes to Austria and beats them, destroys them like they do to seemingly every team. 6-2. No surprise there. Manchester City dominant against Olympiacos 3-0. Ferran Torres scoring again. Gabriel Jesus as well. And Porto, FC Porto, beats Olympique Marseille 3-0. Porto winning that very crucial game for them, because they really, after that second place, which will give them access to the knockout stage in a very close group. But it seems that it's going to go that way. Manchester City has now 9 points, Porto 6 points, Olympiacos 3 points, and Marseille, very difficult for Marseille to come back from this. 3 defeats in 3 games. Now, in Group D, Ajax did their homework. They went to Denmark. They beat Midtjylland, the Danish champions, 2-1 away. Important win, very important win for Ajax, who has now 4 points. And Atalanta, they had started strong with 4 points in the first 2 games. But now they had Liverpool in front of them. And Liverpool, also fantastic, playing away. And this confirms that the Aston Villa game was just a fluke. Klopp's team is still playing fantastic football. They're still one of the best teams in the world. I wouldn't say the best, because now we have Bayern Munich, but Liverpool is probably the second best team in the world right now. And they're playing fantastic football. And in particular, Diogo Jota, who was a starter, he played with Mane and Salah on the wings and Jota in the middle. And Jota gets his first hat-trick. In the Champions League, and his first hat-trick, I believe, with Liverpool. So, fantastic performance once again for Diogo Jota, who's just having a fantastic beginning of the season with Liverpool. And look, if he keeps scoring goals at this rate, Firmino should be worried, right? So especially because Firmino is not, in my opinion, playing particularly well this season. So, all right. So this is kind of it. This is all I had to talk to you about. Tomorrow, though, real quick, just looking at the games tomorrow, the big one, I would say Leipzig versus PSG. Am I? Yeah, Leipzig PSG. That's the big one tomorrow. That's a pretty good game. Manchester United is going to play Istanbul, so that's probably the most interesting group. I don't really see a lot of other really good games. You know, Barcelona, Dynamo Kiev, Chelsea, Rennes. Those are kind of cool games as well. Zenit, Lazio. That's a tough group, and that's an interesting game. But really, I think tomorrow we should be looking mostly, and I'll do a video tomorrow. I'll probably talk about Istanbul, Manchester United. Difficult game for Manchester United going away to Turkey, but easier than the first two that they did win. But they did get that disappointing result against Arsenal. So we don't know where Manchester United is. They're so unstable at the moment, really. And Leipzig PSG, which is probably going to be a pretty crucial game for both of those teams, and that's actually a very difficult game for both of them. For PSG, who's playing away against Leipzig, tough team, and also for Leipzig, they're going to play PSG, the French champions, the European runners-up. So, all right, so that's all. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you. And subscribe if you can. Thank you.